Alright, what's going on, you guys? Indead here again, doing a new video for y'all. Just got a bunch of old hand-me-downs from my brother-in-law and my sister for Christmas. They told me they said, hey, we got a bunch of these old PS2 and Xbox games. You know, he doesn't really want them. Do you want to take a look at them and find ones you want? I said, I want every single one of them. I mean, I've got this big stack of PS2 games here. And I've got all my Xbox games on this bad boy right here. Sorry, the Xbox One box in the way. So I said, yeah, I want every single one of them. They also gave me their old PS2. It doesn't have the cords, but I don't care who you are. You can hook up a PS2 with cords just laying around your house. And as long as you've ever bought any sort of PlayStation product ever, you have a video cord to hook it up. So that's no biggie. I've got my fair share of PS2s myself. Here is the PS2 memory card that came with the PS2 itself. This is a third-party controller. This looks like one of those glow controllers. Pelican glow controller, it looks like. I think so. Yeah, I can see an LED right there. So I think this is I'm trying to remember. I think it's probably a red or a blue one. And here's some random copy of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And so the only thing that bums me out is that unfortunately I do have a lot of them, and or they're copies of the game that I'm not particularly interested in. In the case of a lot of these PS2 games. So let's just go and look at everything, see what we got here. So what we'll do is we'll go through the whole list of these PS2 games here, these PlayStation games, the 360 games, as well as all the Xbox games and the console itself. Afterwards, I'll show you games I do have, don't have, or games that I would like to trade in, and instead get ultimately a different version of them. So here we go, let's take a look at all these games I got here so far. Alright y'all, so first let's look at the PS2 games. Now the Godfather I'll probably trade in. I believe this is also on the Xbox. It's probably a superior version than here on the PS2, but I do not own this game, so that's worth noting. Enter the Matrix, this does have an actual 1080i version that's on the Xbox. It's famous for being one of the few full HD Xbox games, so I will definitely be trading in this PS2 one for that one. I know it's a cool game, but I'd rather play it on the Xbox, definitely because of that that visual and audio fidelity on the Xbox would offer over the PS2 version. Alright, I do have Driver 3 for the Xbox, so I don't need this particular copy. I'll just trade this in flat out. I do have my own copy of A-Spec that I've had for a long time. This one might have a manual. I don't know if mine does. I'll just trade this thing in. Grand Theft Auto Vice City and San Andreas, I have copies of both of these, so I don't really need these. I'll probably just trade those in, no trouble. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, I've got this. This, unfortunately, is a game that's not worth much now, so I'll just trade that one in. I'll take $1 or whatever the heck they might give it for me at most and store credit. Madden NFL 6, I don't really care for football games whatsoever, and either way, if I really wanted to play this game, I would just buy the 360 port for like $1 somewhere. Thug 2, I do actually own Thug 2, I'll just trade this one in, no trouble. Gun, I do own Gun, I have the 360 version, obviously that would be a far better version, I will just trade this one in, alright. I do already own Midnight Club 3 Double Edition, I do already own this game. I have it for the Xbox, it's a superior version, so I'll just trade that one in. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, I do have Snake Eater, I'll just trade this one in, no biggie. SOCOM 2, I do already have SOCOM 2, I've got all 4 of the SOCOM games on the PS2, I'll just trade that one in. I do have God of War 2, I'll just trade this in. I have the Xbox version of Black, which is far superior, just trade that one in. SOCOM 3, I actually bought SOCOM 3 within the first few months after it came out, so I'll just trade this one in. Crazy Taxi, I used to have this game, in fact I believe I still do. And I don't have a case for it, but this is a really, really shoddy port. If you really genuinely want to play this game, just get a Dreamcast. Play that version. This one is really shoddy. Same with the GameCube port. I'll just trade this one in. I don't want it. Need for Speed Most Wanted. While I do actually want this game, this was part of a generation where these games also came out on the Xbox 360. Either way, there's an enhanced black version on the Xbox if you at least want that one. It's sort of a limited black edition. Problem is, though, is it came out on the 360. Clearly, that's the best version, so I'll just trade this one in. NFL 2K2, I probably won't get anything for this. I might just keep it just for the sake that it'd be interesting to see how this directly compares to the Dreamcast version. But just for time being, I'll put it in this pile. Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30. Now, this game I don't own. There is a superior Xbox version. So I'll probably just trade this in and put that ultimately towards getting the Xbox version in the future. And Blitz the League. I can't recall if this came out on the Xbox or not. I don't particularly want it. I know Blitz is one of the few franchises I would actually like to play because of the fact that it's all crazy and not just whack regular football. So I might keep it. I'll have to figure out. So there's that. In the meantime, it's just in this pile. Now, this pile here are games that I don't have that I am a little interested in keeping. Now, NCAA 06, this is one of the more sought after games in this particular area. This was the last time that the 2005 season was the last time that the Texas Longhorns won the game, won the whole championship. Whatever, I don't know anything about football, but so this particular copy is one of the harder copies to find around this area because people like to buy it up and keep it. There's Texas on the back right now, so I'll just keep this just for the sake of that. MX versus ATV Untamed. I don't really know anything about this game, but these games are genuinely fun, so I'll just keep this one. It probably also came out on the Xbox 360, so I'll look into that. I might end up trading this in if there's a 360 port. I'm just currently not aware of it at the time of this recording. Castlevania Curse of Darkness. I don't believe this is the same one I have on the shelf over yonder, so I'll probably just keep this one. I'm sure it's a cool game. Arena Football. I actually never played an Arena Football game. I'm curious how they would play out a little different than maybe, I guess they just have different rules or something than regular football does, so I'll keep this, at least check it out. Ace Combat 4, I actually gave this to a buddy years ago, so I guess this is my replacement for doing a good deed, if you will. Fight Night Round 3, I'm sure this is better on the Xbox. I'll just hold on to this one for the time being, no biggie. MX vs. ATV Unleashed, now this one is a 2005 game, so I believe this one does have a superior port on the Xbox. There is a 1080i version on the Xbox, so I'll probably get that instead, but in the meantime, I'll just hold on to this. The Simpsons Hit and Run. I've always been curious about what this game is. To my knowledge, it's a lot like Crazy Taxi, or not. Is it Crazy Taxi? Yeah, it's just kind of like a crazy balls out, early Simpsons game. One of the earlier ones from the early 2000s. And to my knowledge, it's one of those ones that people actually like, so I'll hold on to it and figure out what exactly it's all about. I don't know anything about rugby, really. Never really played it, other than I know it's, a really aggressive sport, so I'll just hold on to this, see what it's all about. NHL 2004, I might pop it in, play it a few times, who knows. Hockey's one of the few sports I do sort of enjoy, so I'll keep that one. NASCAR 06. These NASCAR games are pretty cool. I'm curious to see what all of these, what this particular version holds. I don't really own many of these. I've only got, I think, one or two of the actual, simulation NASCAR games. One for the Xbox, one for the PlayStation 1, so... Now, ATV Off-Road Fury 4, this is one of the few games that I remembered that he had that I did actually want. I have all three of these games, and I really wanted to get this one as well. So there you go. Now I don't have to buy that. Thanks, bro. And then Tourist Trophy. Now, this one is by people from Gran Turismo. I really, really don't like motorcycle games. I do not like the handling of them. This game's probably going to be all right, seeing as it's by Polyphony Digital. But I'll take a look at it and see what it's all about. It'd be cool if it had 1080i support like they did with what's it called, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, anyway, there's those games. Let's take a look at the Xbox games I like to keep now. Alright, as you can see here, this stack here is games I want to keep. This is games I'll just outright trade out because I already own them or I don't care. And these are games that I'll trade in purely for the fact that I'd rather have a different version of them. So first, let's take a look here at the games I'll just want to trade in because I don't really want them. Now, this is the first Ghost Recon game. This game is worth absolutely nothing. They will literally give you a quarter for this game if you take it anywhere. There are thousands, millions of millions of copies of this game. No one wants it. It is worth nothing to nobody. So... nothing to nobody. How does that sound for some English? So yeah, I've got one, if not two or three of this game from buying them in bundle packs. Just no one wants this game. This is Project Gotham Racing. I don't want this game in this particular condition. I do have a complete copy, and it is a fun game, but I just don't really care for this just slipcase version. Rainbow Six Lockdown. There we go. I do already own this one for the Xbox, so I don't really need this. I'll just trade it in. I might get $1 or something for it somewhere in store credit. Who knows? And Grand Theft Auto 3. This is one half of the Xbox collection. These Xbox versions have some cool high quality stuff to them. They're a superior porter than the PS2 version. But I do already own this in the double disc combo pack, which is right here, combo pack. So don't really need that. I've got my own complete combo pack, so I'll just trade this one in. Now, these games here are the ones that I'll trade in because there are superior versions. I do own an actual disc-only version of Double Agent. I might, never mind, I was going to say, I might give this to a buddy, but he has to have a 360 now, so he won't need this version. But this is, I do actually have the disc-only version of this. My mom bought it years ago for $1 or $2 whenever Blockbuster was going out of business around here. And there has a superior port on the 360. I'm not interested in this version, so I'll just trade it in and ultimately, you know, put store credit towards getting that version in the future. Just Cause, this is another one. I actually used to have this game in the same condition, the manual, the game case, all that stuff. But I traded it in because there is a superior 360 version, so I'll trade that in and get the 360 version instead. In addition to that, there is Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2. I don't own this game, to my knowledge. And I say that because I don't see it over on the shelf anywhere. Excuse me. Most of these games, these extreme sports games, they're usually a lot better on the PS2 due to the control style layout. A lot of these series originated on the PlayStation or the PS2. And this one was an original PlayStation game. I do own both versions of the original PlayStation game, the original as well as the BMX Remix Enhanced version. So these games were designed with the PlayStation controller in mind. They really have a hard time being ported to the Xbox correctly. I'm sure this version looks nicer, sounds nicer, but probably it'd be a far more enjoyable, super high res graphics and 2 additional levels, Venice and Greenville. Doesn't matter to me. Well, shit, it's got additional content. I might keep it just for that sake, but either way, I will get this on the PS2. It's made to be played on the PS2, so there you go. That's my opinion on it right there. Let's see. Now, this pile here is actual games I do want to keep. We'll run through. I don't know anything about Triggerman. I've seen it for years and years and years, I think. I don't really know anything about this. That's what I think. I don't know anything about this. So I'll keep it, see what the hell it's all about. I've got at least 3 or 4 different copies of Halo 2. Hopefully, one day I'll get a bunch of people together and we can have a big fun LAN party. So I keep hoarding these copies. Scarface, The World Is Yours. This is one of the ones I knew he had for the Xbox that I played way back when and really, really wanted. And I knew when my sister was like, hey, do you want his games? I was like, I know that I want the Scarface game. This is a 720p game. It's very cool, very, very fun. I think the only downside is whenever you go into your Super Scarface mode, he just sits there and just cusses repeatedly, which is actually just kind of annoying. But other than that, this was a cool game to my knowledge, so I'll keep this one here, Battlefield Modern Combat. I do have the 360 version. Unfortunately, all these, you know, the PS2 version I think might still be online. The Xbox One was shut down in 2010. The 360 version lost its servers as well. So this game no longer will play online on any platform except for maybe the PS2. Don't hold me to it. I got to find that out. I'll probably check that out later this month because I'm curious if it still works. Blah! Talking so much. Anyway, I'm curious to see what this game looks like on the Xbox. I'll probably trade it in after I look at it for a little bit, but I do have the 360 version. It's a very cool game. It does it has a mechanic that no other game does, where you can sort of jump and switch between any of your players on the screen, any of your individual teammates that are around on your environment. Definitely a cool game. Don't forget about it. Look for a 360 port. It's a very, very cool game. Hitman Contracts. I don't know anything about the Hitman franchise, to be completely honest. Other than they're about being a hitman and killing people in cool ways. I know there's about 3 or 4 different games in this franchise. I've never really cared. I'm particularly bad at stealthy stuff. But I'll hold on to this one just for the sake that it's, you know, the nice high quality Xbox version. If it was a PlayStation 2 port, I'd just sell it outright, but the Xbox version is probably better. MX Unleashed. I made a faulty mistake earlier saying that the PS2 version of some other game was sold out like this. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not even knowing. Anyway, MX Unleashed is one of the 3 or 4 3 Xbox games that is 1080i compatible. It's right here on the back, saying that it's 1080i compatible right there. This is a game I've been wanting to get almost for the sake of that alone, whether or not it's a good game. I wanted it for that reason. Here it is. Thanks, bro. So now we got Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. I heard these are actually really good, fun, beat 'em up, hack and slash sort of games. So I will be keeping this one and playing it eventually. Greg Hastings, Tournament Pinball Maxed. I've heard that these games are actually a lot of fun. I played one of them with both my brother-in-laws years ago. So I'm curious to see. This is probably a lot of fun, actually. GoldenEye Rogue Agent. This is one of those games that was sort of like, hey, it has that awesome, fun multiplayer that people remember. So I'll be keeping this. I'll take my look at it, see what it's all about. I'm sure it's a very cool game. Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers. I wasn't aware that there was this 10 Hammers game. It's a 2006 game, obviously a follow-up. I don't believe it has a 360 port or anything. I'll have to look into that. But I had the first Full Spectrum Warrior years ago. I don't think I have it anymore. I think I traded it in. I'm looking on the shelf. I don't see it. So yeah, I traded it in. But there you go. Here's the game. I'm curious to see what it ultimately would be about. So yeah, I'll look at it. I believe this is one of those squad-based tactical games. Yeah, command a variety of squads. So yeah, it's not particularly my cup of tea, but you know, there it is. 25 to Life. I rented this on the PS2 way back. I played it online. It was kind of fun. I do actually own this for the Xbox in a nothing but... Nope, I lied. Never mind. That's 187 Ride or Die. So no, I do not own 25 to Life. I played it on the PS2 years ago. I knew eventually I wanted to get the Xbox version just because I knew it had sort of a interesting, you know, kind of fun single-player portion. So there you go. Here it is. Thanks, bro. I'll play it this way. Halo, same thing with Xbox, with the Halo 2 for the Xbox. This might be my third or fourth copy of the game. I need 4 of these to ultimately do some perfect system link play party someday. So here it is, another copy I can add to the mix. Hopefully one day I'll get all 4 of them. And in the event we ever get Xboxes together, although everyone already owns a copy of Halo if they still have an Xbox, we will have plenty of copies to start playing it. Project Gotham Racing 2. This is the Live Arcade Combo Pack. I don't have this particular version. I might keep this one. I just have the regular standalone Project Gotham Racing 2. I might keep this one. But, you know, whatever. Other than that, I might end up just trading it in, to be honest. And NFL 2K3. Now, I'm curious because these are the Sega sports games. I like the fact that Sega had this whole underdog thing when it came to making their sports games. And they really were one of the only companies to take EA and Madden head on, specifically Madden, and they really did a great job with this franchise. So I'm curious to see what this game offers, especially how it compares to something like Madden. I've got all 3 of the games on the Dreamcast, so here's obviously the best version of here's obviously the best version of this game. So here it is for the Xbox. I'll just go ahead and just keep it just for the sake of it being the cool, you know, Sega sports game. So I think the only downside is now I will literally need more room for Xbox and PS2 games on the shelf when I add these to the list. So, oh well, it'll be fun sorting them out and going through them all. Alright, now let's move on to the 360 and PlayStation stuff. Here we have Gran Turismo 2. Now, I already own Gran Turismo 2, although I do not have this piece of print material in my copy. This one here. I do not have this manual in my copy, so I will just keep this manual and figure out which one of these 2 copies. Oh, even has a PlayStation Underground thing. So I do not have this manual here, so now I've got that manual. I will look at both copies of the games. Here's this one here, as well as the one on the shelf up yonder. I will look at both copies of the game, figure out which of the 4 discs I have are the best 2 condition ones, and probably just trade in the other set. No biggie. I do actually find I bought Twisted Metal 3 this year. I finally bought it. I had it when I was a kid. It ended up getting lost. I finally bought it again, and now here's another copy that I could have got for free later on in the year. Mine is a Black Label version. This is the game. This is the greatest hits version. So cool to have. I'll probably just trade this one in. I don't know anybody who would actually want this game otherwise. Tom Clancy's End War. I don't know anything about this game. Obviously, it's about futuristic type crap, so maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. I'll just keep it. I don't know anything about it, and there might still be some stuff online. It's got online co-op. Maybe me and a buddy can play someday. Does it have a manual? It does. Cool. I think my sister bought this one for my brother-in-law. So yeah, there's that. Cool. And then Pure. I bought him Pure whenever he first got a 360. This was just a real cheap bargain bin sort of game, and I knew he'd be something fun for him to play whenever he very first got the 360 since he didn't have many games. So I bought him Pure. I own a copy of Pure, the Pure Lego Batman combo pack, so I don't need to keep this, so I'll just trade this thing in. But there's the big massive pile that has amassed. So these are going to be traded in. These are keep and or trade in for the Xbox games. Those are my keep PlayStation 2 games. Here's a bunch of other trade in Xbox games. So in the end, lots of fun. I do appreciate them for giving me all their old stuff. I really don't care if it's just a hand-me-down. It's not even an actual present. I don't care at all. This is awesome stuff. This was a lot of fun making this video, going through all these things. It'll be awesome having all these games added to the collection. More than grateful. I'll just trade this goofy Pelican controller, and hopefully this PS2 works just fine. So, but anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will catch y'all later, and peace. Boom.